Welcome to your sizing instructional video. We will show you how to get the correct measurements for your new Ergon, Energex and Eureka shirts, trousers and overalls. Firstly, you may like to open the sizing instructions on the LHD portal, www.sales.lhdsmart.au. On the left-hand menu bar, you will see sizing information, which you can view on screen or download and print. All measurements are taken in centimetres, and we recommend you have someone help you. There are 5 key measurements: chest, shoulder, centre back length, sleeve length, and collar length. Write all measurements down as you go. When measuring the chest, measure around the fullest part of the chest. Next, measure the shoulders. This can be a little tricky, but measure across the back to the points of both shoulders. Now measure the back length. Take this measurement from the base of the neck to your waistline. Next, we are going to measure the sleeve length. We measure the arm from the shoulder to the wrist. We also want to have a bent arm with hand on hip. Finally, we measure the neck for collar length. Measurement is taken around the base of the neck. Now look at your measurements to determine which size you should be wearing. From the measurements taken, this person is a size large shirt. There are 6 measurements for the trouser: waist, thigh, knee, hem, out leg, and in leg. When measuring the waist, have the tape measure around the natural waistline, usually where the belly button is. Thigh, measure this around the largest part of the thigh. Knee circumference, measure around the widest point of the knee. Hem circumference, this measurement is a guide and not crucial to the correct fit. Out leg, measure from the waistband point of your waist to the floor or bottom of heel. In leg, measure from the crotch, you should hold the end of the tape in place for the person measuring, to the floor or the bottom of heel. Now compare your measurements to the sizing chart to get your size. There are 7 main measurements required for coveralls. Some of these are the same as for shirts and trousers. First, measure your chest. Place the tape measure around the fullest part of your chest. Next, we are going to measure the sleeve length. We measure the arm from the shoulder to the wrist. We also want to have a bent arm with hand on hip. Next, measure the shoulders. This can be a little tricky, but measure across the back to the points of both shoulders. When measuring the waist, have the tape measure around the natural waistline, usually where the belly button is. Thigh, measure this around the largest part of the thigh. Out leg, measure from the top of the waist to the bottom of your heel. In leg, measure from the crotch. You should hold the end of the tape in place for the person measuring. If you are requiring a made-to-measure garment, there are 3 additional measurements required. Measuring from the waist to the knee, measure from the top of the waist to the middle of your kneecap. Neck, we measure the neck for collar length. Measurement is taken around the base of the neck. Hip, measure the widest point, around 20 centimetres below the waist. Now you have all of your measurements, check the sizing chart and choose your correct size. If you are an extra person, extra tall, extra short, extra wide or extra narrow, or you have long arms, legs or short arms and legs, you may need a made-to-measure garment. If this is the case, use the form at the bottom of the size chart. Make sure all measurements are filled in for your required garment, as well as your personal details and quantity required. You can then email this form to eqlsupport@lhd-group.com.au. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you enjoy your new clothing.